repeat of a drive I did when I was on 11.3.2, I believe it was. So, I'm not really expecting any differences, but just for the sake of recording it. Intersection here, we're 2 lanes right now, and then the left side is a left turn lane, and then once you cross the road, it becomes 3 lanes, where this lane gets split into 2 when you cross the road. And the car doesn't seem to pick a lane consistently. Like, most of the time it'll do left, sometimes it'll do right, it just varies. Yeah, so that bus, they shouldn't have done that. Assholes. So the disengagement there is because the bus had its blinker on to change lanes. And they changed lanes in the middle of the intersection, basically, right? So the way the intersection is designed, the right lane should go right. The left lane then splits into 2 lanes. That bus decided not to remain in the right lane, but rather to get into the center lane. And my disengagement was because, holy shit, the bus got close to me and made me uncomfortable. Bad bus. There's some sporadic braking for the blinking yellow. that lane change to me was unnecessary. I feel like the car should have recognized that that truck got into was getting into the right lane, and the camera should have had enough sight to see that there was nothing ahead of the truck and could have just remained in that lane. Right? Like, that guy ahead of us is getting back over there because he can. So bad that when the car decided it was time to get out of the way for that guy, he just went around me. He shouldn't be over there in the first place, because Florida law dictates that if there's somebody in the emergency lane, he needs to slow down to 50 miles an hour or not be in that lane. It's an Ohio plate, so either a tourist or a rental. Another guy coming up on me quick. There we go. Yeah, it's probably a rental. actually interesting. A previous version tried to go to the right lane, and then it recognized there was a blockage. Oh, we're going to do that today? Interesting. Previously, it identified a blockage in the right lane and remained in the left lane for several versions after that. It's funny that this would be the time it tries to go to the right again. But I didn't disengage, it figured it out. So the video cut out because my phone overheated. There wasn't really anything missed. There were 2 more disengagements after the phone cut out. Where is a cyclist behind me? There was a disengagement at the intersection of the Polk Parkway and Hardin, where the lanes are out of whack, and it pissed off a guy that was next to me. And then there was another disengagement where the car was trying to take a right when it didn't need to take a right. The barrel reset, though, I thought was interesting. And I went and looked at the map data. And it looks like my car overnight got the map data for 2022.44.14515. It looks like that had a big push last night. So I'm wondering if the barrels got reset because the map data is new and everybody needs to start reporting the issues that they had previously, so Tesla can apply their special sauce on top of that. But it does not fix the map issue that I'm going to have later on in the trip that kind of kills it for me, which I'm really disappointed about. So next up on this journey is going to be the Polk Parkway on-ramp, which I've shown in the past. Just to illustrate it a little bit better here, the expectation is the car has to get into a right-hand turn lane that is dedicated. This whole segment here is 3 lanes wide, and the car basically has to ignore lane changing principles and just cut across all 3 lanes of traffic. It's very common. Hopefully some of these people ahead of me will be doing that maneuver. No, this is an unnecessary lane change. That's another issue I've seen pop up, is when you have an upcoming right turn, the car seems to want to get into the left-hand lane. So I aborted that lane change. So here, we're going to have to get into the right lane. Which, that's slow. It needs to be faster about that. Otherwise, if there's people behind me, they immediately get right over. So that black SUV is getting on the road. Looks like the car in front of me, and you can see the car in front just goes right up. And the Tesla, well, I guess he didn't get on the road. No, the truck behind me gets right on the interstate. No, he doesn't either. Well, whatever. The car missed it. So now it's going to reroute. But it's got to cut across all 3 lanes of traffic. I mean, it doesn't have to, but that's what the local population does. And that Mustang over there was one of the ones who did it. This turn, sometimes it tries to cut into the left lane mid-turn. So we'll see what the car does here. So after this turn, we're making a right turn, so we need to stay in this lane. And what'll happen is the lane markings kind of disappear halfway through the intersection, and it's at that point that it tries to cut left. So now we're in the left lane. It shouldn't have done that. It needs to get back over to the right. I only did that because there was no traffic behind me. Otherwise, I would have taken control. And here, that whole lane is blocked off by these white posts. After these blinky lights is a brand new roundabout that was put in a month or two ago. Yield, and around we go. That slowdown's unnecessary. Now, Google shows that as a proper roundabout. I'm assuming the city of Lakeland did that edit pretty quick. So I don't think I've disengaged so far. So that's nice. Even though it did miss the on-ramp. So next up is going to be an unmarked road. And historically, when on this unmarked road, the car just kind of slams on the brakes when an oncoming car is coming. So we'll see what happens here. Gas to accelerate and override the braking, and then when I take my foot off the gas, it continues to do some braking. So that's still there. I'm basically in the middle of the road at this point, and that car in front of me is trying to figure it out. To ride it a little bit more. Failure to yield to oncoming traffic. I feel like part of the issue is that it just, the camera line doesn't see the edge of the road very well, so it can't ride the line as it should. Oh, dude, you're gonna piss the people off behind us. Stop here because I'm hitting the accelerator to override. There's a stop sign at that intersection when you're coming from the left. Hitting the accelerator to override for this guy. There's a semi-truck, and it could technically go now, but it didn't. And it's going to be 1, 2, and go. Okay, well, apparently. this is the intersection I was really hoping would get resolved with the map update, but it did not. Light is green. Oh, I guess we're going to stay green. So if we look at it, it has this little jaunt to go up, and I'll let it cross the intersection. But it's gone, and it's reflected on Google as being gone. So if we say end trip, and we zoom in, the jaunt is gone. And turning here is not an option. But if we look at the visualization, it seems to pretend to put it in. And I think it's doing that because of the driveway that's in the softball field off to the side. I don't know. That issue is persisting though on 2022.44 for the map update. I don't know when that's going to get fixed, but that completely tanks my ability to use it, to have a completely non-intervention drive and all that stuff. But that's it. Thanks for watching.